I met Damaso Reyes about 28 years ago when I was a new reporter at the Amsterdam News, and he was a high school student in New York City. From there, he became a correspondent for us and created our first ever investigative unit.
Damaso is the most dedicated, driven, focused journalist I've ever worked with. Through journalism and storytelling, through photography, I honestly believe that he sees these as tools for systemic change and for the best pathway towards equality by sharing the authentic narratives of those who are most historically disenfranchised.
My inspiration to become a journalist really came from the idea that I wanted my community to be represented holistically and fully. As a young man growing up in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn during the 1980s, what little coverage I saw of my community was usually negative. And I felt that if I was a journalist, I could provide people with a different perspective, not just on my community, but other marginalized communities as well.
Every story, every individual he's documented, photographed, or covered as a reporter, in his eyes, stands equal. One story Damaso worked on which directly impacted me was actually when we did together Rwanda in the aftermath of the 1984 genocide.
We were specifically looking at how children were being treated after the genocide, children who had, in some cases, participated in the genocide.
And it was over the course of several weeks working with Damaso that I actually learned from him the particular care, the grace, and the humility he brought to his craft.
I feel like if we were better informed, if we better understood what was happening at the time, there might have been more pressure for the U.S. to intervene or provide more humanitarian assistance. So for me, forging that connection, reestablishing that connection, and strengthening that connection between Black Americans, Americans of color, as well as the larger diaspora is essential if we are going to make progress, if we are going to reconnect to the strength that we have as a global community.